I want to return back to the questions that I've obviously prepared. And as I mentioned before, I want to deal with this topic of the concept of Shias, believing in other, committing shirk, not having a strong concept of Tawheed. The second one which raises its head a lot of the time is the concept of Tevessul or šefa'a. And I mean, if you'd like to explain the difference between the two words as well. But then an accusation is that Shias worship the dead, and they call upon the dead, and these things are all shirk. How do you answer these kinds of accusations?
On the first level, it's vital to understand. Let's say if for tonight's definition, even though I can go further and I have lectures on this topic, it's vital for us to understand that if we were to say Tevessul is a means for reaching Allah in this world, and šefa'a will define as the intercession of a particular individual in the hereafter. Let's define it for the audience tonight. Both the word wasila and the word šefa'a are used in the Qur'an. So for example, the word wasila is used in Surah 5 verse 35 in the Qur'an. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu attaqullah wa abtaghu ilayhi al-wasila. O you who believe, be conscious of Allah and seek a means to reach Him. Seek a means to reach Him offers a quite beautiful option to the human being. That you as a human being can come to me directly. In your salah, you come to me directly. You tell me, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ اهْدِنَا الصِّرَاطَ الْمُسْتَقِيمَ. But likewise, in your same salah, I've also told you for you to every day remember that you should be on the path of those I have given my ni'am, my blessings. Notice in the salah, اهْدِنَا الصِّرَاطَ الْمُسْتَقِيمَ, direct to Allah. صَرَاطَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ. Ya Allah, I want to reach your path, the path of those you put your ni'mah on. That means there are a group of creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who Allah has blessed, who He has sent as role models to mankind, as scholars for mankind, even as martyrs in His way. Allah used them to reach us. We use them to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Isn't that true? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses wasila to reach me as a human being. He uses a creation of His to reach me. So why can't I as a human being use that creation to reach Allah? However, at the same time I can say, Ya Allah, I'm using you alone. That's it. I don't want to use any creation. When I say, for example, in a dua, Allahumma inni as'aluka wa atawajjahu ilayka binabiyyik. Ya Allah, I ask you, but the way I ask you is through your Prophet, because he is beloved to you. It's like now I go to apply for a job. When I go to apply for this job, I could easily go direct to the manager. I've got a friend of mine who's close to the manager. I can go direct to the manager with my CV. Or what I can do is go to my friend and say, listen, do you mind passing the CV to the manager? The manager is the ultimate decision maker. But I know my friend has a lofty position with the manager. That's in terms of wasila. So who's the helper? Is it the means or is it the ends? The helper is the ends. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the means is, Ya Allah, I want to ask through them because you told me that these people are so beloved to you. In terms of šefa'a, let's say the intercession of the hereafter. In terms of the intercession of the hereafter, what do we find? We find in the Qur'an, sometimes there are verses which say there will be no šefa'a on the day of judgment. There will be no intercession. So someone comes forward and says, how comes you believe in šefa'a? The verses in the Qur'an say there will be no šefa'a. We reply, bring the verses also which say there will be šefa'a. And then we have to put everything in context. The verses in the Qur'an which say there will be no šefa'a refer to those who looked for the intercession of the idols on the day of judgment. And can an idol intercede for you in this world, let alone in the hereafter? No. Therefore the Qur'an said that the šefa'a of such people is not going to help you. The šefa'a of the idols will not help you. However, there are other verses in the Qur'an where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, may come forward and state that, let's say Surah 20 verse 109. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that šefa'a can only be given to the one who Allah is pleased with him and has placed mercy upon him. Okay? Someone who Allah is pleased with him and is pleased with his words and has placed mercy upon him. There are many hadiths in both schools of Islam. A martyr will be able to perform šefa'a on the day of judgment. A scholar will be able to intercede for you on the day of judgment. An alim will be able to intercede for you on the day of judgment. In other words, there is a belief that there is this šefa'a which will happen, but only by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If permission is not given, then it will not happen. And don't just think that because you love a member of Ahlul Bayt, it means that they will intercede for you on the Day of Judgment. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, those who neglect salah, for example, our shafa'a will not prevail for them. So we look at this, and then someone asks the question, that okay, we accept that on the Day of Judgment there will be intercession. A martyr, an alim, a scholar, a Qur'an memorizer, a prophet of God, they can intercede. But they're dead now, so why do you ask through them now? We reply by saying, number one, a person who dies in the way of Allah is not dead. Rather, he is living according to the Qur'an. Number two, if these people are dead, like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, people say, don't ask through Rasulullah, ask Allah direct. We reply, then don't say your salams to Rasulullah and salah. If Rasulullah is dead, salah is wajib on him, he's going to reply back to you. So don't send your salams to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in your salah. We are of the belief that even Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, after he passed away, there were companions who would come near his grave saying, Ya Rasulullah, when you were alive, the verse said, وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ اِظَّلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ جَاءُوكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا اللَّهَ وَاسْتَغْفَرَ لَهُمُ الرَّسُولُ لَوَجَدُوا اللَّهَ تَوَّابًا رَحِيمًا. There was a verse in the Quran which said that when they were unjust to themselves, had they come to you and asked for forgiveness, we would have forgiven them. They said, Ya Rasulullah, you were alive, this happened. Now that you are dead, we have come to you again. And that's, they heard a reply. They heard a reply from Rasulullah. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam died in the way of Allah. But the helper ultimately is Allah. And the permission is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that always has to be remembered.
Excellent.